You know, people look to us in government to build bridges wherever possible across the party line. They are sick and tired of what they see in Washington. Quite candidly, they're tired of a lot of what they see in Annapolis. And Baltimore County, in a lot of ways, has worked. The Democrats, I find, in Baltimore County government tend to be more conservative than their colleagues in Annapolis and Washington. The Republicans have generally tended to be a little more moderate, maybe, than their colleagues elsewhere. But what works is that both parties try to find common areas to work together. So I've really tried to be a bipartisan council member. Councilman Huff, in many respects, has reached across the party aisle. And we've produced some good things for our constituents. In my district, for example, we've invested about $100 million in public schools. The county executive, to his credit, has put a lot of money in schools in the Towson area, where you have younger families moving up from Baltimore City into places like Rogers Forge and Stoneleigh and Wiltondale, and you have schools becoming overcrowded where there's almost no development. So we've worked very, very hard on schools. We've worked very hard to get our number of air-conditioned schools increased. I've worked with the county executive on a lot of open space issues. In my district, we have 5 new parks being advanced. 4 of them are public parks. I've worked to preserve a lot of open space for development. We've worked together to expand the tax credit for energy efficient homes. We've worked to improve our transportation system. The state has cut back significantly on our investment in local roads. When Governor Ehrlich was in office, for example, we were getting tens of millions of dollars in what are called highway user revenues to repair our roads. That has been almost eliminated from the state government. At the same time, our gasoline taxes have gone up. The county, to its credit, has put, I think, about $20 million over the past 2 fiscal years into road resurfacing, which I think is a very good investment. So, you know, we've worked across the party lines wherever possible. We've tried to establish, I think, a tone of collegiality and civility that I think works very well. But there are times when you do step back and you say no. Councilman Huff and I, for example, voted against an expansion of the speed camera program. Those pushing this expansion, I think, had some noble goals. They wanted to improve safety. But I think we had a lot of questions about this program, and I think both of us thought there were better ways of reducing certainly unsafe travel. We voted against the rain tax. You know, my personal opinion is the citizens of this state have been taxed far too much over the past 7 years. That was a proposal that was rushed through, I just thought we could have done what other localities have done, such as Carroll County, Frederick County, where they either challenged the rain tax or they found the ability to absorb it without passing the costs along to their taxpayers. So, you know, we have tried to find ways to reach across the party aisle, but we've also tried to find ways of distinguishing ourselves and saying no where it was important. Let me conclude by talking a little bit about Towson, which I think is very, very exciting. You know, for many years, Towson was a community that never lived up to its potential. It's a place, a center for law, for government, for higher education, for medicine. It has wonderful neighborhoods, fantastic schools, but the commercial core really left something to be desired. And now we are seeing a tremendous investment in that commercial core. More than $500 million of private investment coming in. Towson Commons being renovated, new residences being built. There's really an excitement in the air with Towson. That is good from so many perspectives. It helps our tax base. It's also good planning. Towson is where you should have growth. You should have development. Now, I think over the next 4 years, we have to be very cognizant to build in the right way. We have to have, for example, a business improvement district like Baltimore City has in a lot of neighborhoods, where businesses help pay for things like public safety, maintenance, and landscaping. And I really think we need to have a circulator that serves those neighborhoods in the core of Towson. Transit does not work everywhere. Chris West mentioned the light rail. That's a very controversial issue. But I think when you look at downtown Towson, there's simply no more road capacity, and we need to be looking at ways of getting people around the commercial core. I look forward to working with my colleagues to help make this possible. Look forward to working with our county executive, quite frankly, who I think has shown some real vision in the Towson area. and our state legislators. I have a great relationship, I think, with our state legislators. But pay attention to Towson. It's going to be a place of real excitement over the next few years. With that, I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you very much for having me up here.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming out this evening. And thank you, Chris West, for putting this together, and David for coming in here from Perry Hall. Let's see. Start off by saying that I was born and raised literally 5 miles down the street from here in Sparks. Born and raised on a family farm, for most of you that don't know that. And so I've seen a lot of changes in 45 years. And I have been living in the district, in this district, the 3rd district, in my entire life. So I'm pretty familiar with what's going on inside and out. And just so everybody's familiar with the 3rd district, it covers from York and the Beltway to Pennsylvania to Hereford County to Carroll County. It's 325 square miles. And so geographically, it's literally half the county of Baltimore County. So needless to say, this job, got to wear a lot of hats. You got big business communities, you got heavy rural areas, you got some historical areas, you have heavy, densely populated residential areas, such down in Cockeysville and Timonium and Lutherville. So needless to say, you got to deal with a lot of different issues, a lot of different ways. And what drove me to get involved is I'm a businessman. I've been in the family business most of my life. For those of you who may know, it's Brooks Huff Goodyear. We've been around for 70 years. I'm 3rd generation. I do have a son that works for us. He's 4th generation, which in this day and age is just unheard of. But we instill that we give out a good service to all our customers, and we're here to stay, and we work hard. And my father's instilled that into me, and that's why I'm here. I wanted to make a difference to the community. I've been a part of the community all my life. I've brought my kids, and I'm still bringing my little ones through the public school system. I'll get into all that in a little bit later. And so I'm very proud of what Baltimore County Public Schools is doing and how they are educating our kids. Yes, we have some speed bumps we got to deal with, but we're dealing with them. But to give you a couple highlights of what I've been able to get accomplished here in the past 3.5 years of working hard with the communities and the business groups and everybody involved is, as you can tell, I know it's a big mess, but we do have a major construction going on up the street at Hereford High School. Long time overdue. It has not changed. My father graduated there back in like 1966. It hasn't changed since he was in high school. So I'm very happy to say that they've got somewhere around $58 million going into that school. I know it's a turmoil, it's a big mess right now, but it'll be very nice when it's done. I'm also happy to say through some pushes, we're not going to lose the ag program. There was talk that they were going to get rid of the ag program. And ag has been a part of Hereford High School all my life, all my father's life. So it is here to stay. They are actually going to build a little barn back there. I did see the plans the other day for that. The other big project that I worked on up here, it took me 2 years of strong, hard negotiations, but finally accomplished it. Baltimore County now owns the Hereford Library and the property next to it. The advantage to that is we get to renovate it, expand. It's 7,500 square feet for that library. It's busting at the seams. We had an additional 7,500 feet upstairs. As the tenants would move out, we are taking over those areas. We have the property next door for the overflow parking, and eventually we're going to take and make a big loop to make it easier to get in and out. So future stuff to come. Let's see, 200 more seats at Sparks Elementary School. I did get a follow-up today. I do believe they're looking to break ground here real soon. They would like to have it done and completed by school year of 2015. and that is long overdue. The school unfortunately was built too small from the start. I believe we've got 8 or 9 trailers down there. This will take care of so that we don't have the trailers down there anymore. Let's see. Another new thing to this area, to the 3rd District, is a Cockeysville Community Center. The 3rd District has never seen a community center of its own. It'll have a middle school sized gymnasium. It'll have a PAL center. It'll have some offices in it. And the advantage also of putting it down where we put it, which is down by Target in Cockeysville, is the fact that now Padonia International School will use that as their gymnasium, which will also give them 70 additional seats. Let's see. Another hot topic, no pun intended, but we've got 2 schools that are slated on this budget here, Timonium and Lutherville Elementary, that will be getting air conditioning. I'm hearing rumblings that we should be getting some more. I would project probably within the next 4 to 5 years, would you agree, that we will be at 100% on air conditioning in Baltimore County? And that's a long time overdue. Jacksonville Elementary, Hereford Middle School, the athletic lights that they have in the fields, they are due to be changed over. I'm hoping this spring they will have the new state-of-the-art lights there. Jacksonville has been wanting those for the past couple of years. They were waiting on some planning and review on design for stadium lighting and all, so that it doesn't affect the neighborhood, but it gives you the maximum impact on the fields. That's been done, and they are getting new lights. Let's see. Working things with the administration this past year. I don't know if you've noticed, of course now you're not going to because there are a lot of potholes, but I was able to obtain an additional $3 million for paving projects in this whole area, in the 3rd District. And that's why you've got to see a lot more paving being done than normal. And as soon as we stop having the snowstorms, I believe there's another one coming Tuesday, they will start firing up the blacktop plants, and they will get back out here and continue. And if anybody in here is curious on whether the road is going to get blacktopped or thinks it really needs it, don't hesitate to call my office. We do have a list, and we do add to it all the time. And if you have potholes, definitely report it through the website or call my office. They are out diligently filling them, even though it does help business, but we don't want the potholes. Let's see. Another big controversial issue. County said they wanted to take and put some Band-Aids on the animal control facility. They wanted to revamp it and actually try to digitize it. I pushed very hard for them to build a brand new facility. They'll be breaking ground, I believe, this spring for a new state-of-the-art $5 million project. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy of it because it needs some repairs to the internal workings of the employees. I get it. We need something for these employees to work with. There'll be a vet on scene every day. It'll have brand new dog facilities. It'll have a walking park. We already are doing spade and neutering. Anybody wants to adopt a pet, it's $65, and they're spayed and neutered already for you. It's the cheapest in town. So bear with us. We are working diligently to try to get this under control as far as some of the stuff that you may be seeing through Facebook or other social medias and all that with the personnel with the new state-of-the-art facility. Let's see, to date, when my predecessor, Councilman McIntyre, went out of office, we had preserved somewhere around 55,000 acres total. Since to date, in the past 3 years, we've preserved an additional 7,400 acres, and I do know that we have a few more on the books that will be passed by the County Council. So we are still striving for the goal of the 80,000 that's been put on the books. I would say probably within the next year or so, we should be close to the 70,000 mark, which is fantastic for Baltimore County. One of the other biggest things that people have been hollering for or really needing up here in this area is ball fields. You guys are probably the second group. I did announce it about 2 weeks ago at my fundraiser.